Either we are there or not, ITSP Magazine still gets the best stories. There are plenty of conferences and all sorts of events that spark our curiosity and allow us to start conversations with some of the world's brightest minds. In person or virtually, we sit down with them at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Together, we discover what the synergy of these three elements means for the future of humanity. Knowledge is power, now more than ever.
Okay. No time to think. Let's get into this. Chloe, what's going on?
Well, you know how everything is happening all at once because we're all about to go to Las Vegas for that entire week. So everything is peachy. But I'm so excited because there's going to be a conference called SquadCon. I don't know, Marco, if you've heard of it or not, but
I've heard of it. I'm excited about it. I'm so excited that despite everything that happened in Las Vegas, because it has to happen right around that week. It's been years at this point that happened. There is room for new things, and I think that's the really good thing. And I'm excited about this, and we decided to support the event. And we're here to learn more about it. So, Chloe, I'll let you introduce our guest as you're co-hosting today with me, which is always fun. And we'll talk about what this new event is all about.
Well, I'm going to first have them do it themselves because I feel like they're better at it than I will ever be.
We don't want to read a bio anyway.
Yeah. I'm going to start with our hype person, Rebecca.
Ooh, hype. Okay, so I need to live up to that.
I have her ringtone, by the way. It's her hyping me is my ringtone. She made
special
one for me.
Just for you because you, in fact, are special. So, hello. My name is Rebecca Skeet. I am the COO for Black Girls Hack, and we are the creators, makers of SquadCon. It was birthed through originally last year. We had Girls Hack Village as a village at DEF CON. And, adapt and overcome. Things happen, you change, as we are all familiar with in the cybersecurity industry. Yeah, just like Marco said, there was room for something new, and we took advantage of that and created SquadCon, which is a 3-day conference that will be in August, the 10th through the 12th at the Industrial. And yeah, that's the initial hype kick. And then Alsh, to you, my friend.
Yes, I couldn't have put it better myself, Beck. As usual, outstanding intro there. I don't know how I'll follow up with that, but my name is Alshan Banks. I'm the CTO for Black Girls Hack, and as you can see, our founder Tanisha wasn't feeling well, so she definitely left it in our capable hands to do the thing here. So here we go.
Which is a perfect segue for the title of SquadCon. Tanisha is like the grand puppet master and has assembled a squad to support her mission and vision. And the people that you surround yourself with is important. Our network is important. And we've benefited so much from the people who, Chloé, like yourself, Marco, yourself, who have supported us in our vision and mission. And we want to provide the opportunity for others who are like-minded or not like-minded and just want to hear a differing opinion to assemble and learn from one another. And so the SquadCon is kind of like a Voltron of, hey, everyone, far and near, assemble. So yeah, that was the general thought process there.
That's a call to action right there. Assemble. I like that. One thing I would like to mention is the fact that with some of these large events that has been going on for a long time, we don't need to name them, but they've been around for a very long time. They kind of change as they were progressing, and we've seen that happen to many events related to hacking and the infosecurity industry, and probably technology in general. It just get a little bit too commercial, maybe to focus on business. And the truth is that we still need to give space to people and the humans in the industry. And that's exactly what you guys are doing. So, Chloé, we have talked so many times about all of these, and I'm going to go to you right now because I know you're going to have to kind of disappear to a magic act in the middle of this. So your opinion maybe on the value of events such as
Oh, God.
this one here.
I think more than ever this year it's needed because, like, in certain states right now across the US, they're getting rid of DEI practices and policies. And you see what's going on, in so many ways, which is making us question about humanity and human rights. And so having something like SquadCon is incredibly important because there's a good number of people that are marginalized in the community. Then when they go to conferences, they don't feel comfortable. And by comfortable meaning like there's representation. There's people that look like you and I and everyone actually. And having a good place where people can be themselves, where they don't have to be nervous and where they can feel accepted and appreciated. I think that's so important because when you're like marginalized, you're going to feel kind of lonely at times and alone, and no one should feel that way, especially when going to DEF CON or Black Hat.
Yeah, Rebecca, you want to jump on that, or Ashlon?
Yeah, I think, with clothing, sometimes they're small, there's medium, and there's an inside joke there with mediums. But oftentimes there's a one size fits all, and then there's the one size fits most. What we seek to do is to give everyone the opportunity. I think sometimes there's nothing wrong with change. You mentioned, things are changing or what have you. It's not to say that things have to stay the same. Still, water never reaches the sea. So that's not the thing. We don't want things to become stagnant. We just want things to be productive change, inclusive change. Like, excuse me, we can grow and improve, but make sure that there's room for growth and improvement for everyone. And that in that change, that we're not leaving anyone behind or leaving anyone out, whether that's directly, indirectly, intentional, or unintentional. And so, one of the things, like the name of our organizations, Black Girls Hack, some people ask, like whenever we go to other conferences, hey, can we join? Can we support? I'm not Black, I'm not a girl. And then we say no. We have a focus, yes, but all are invited, all are welcome. And that's kind of what the substratum of this conference is. All are invited, all are welcome. If you want to be involved, you can be. If you need a space, you have one. This might not, what you've tried before or where you've been before might not have been exactly what you were looking for. And so we're saying, here's another option. What's interesting is that in different other avenues and concepts, people get it. Like, it's not for fast food. It's not all just burgers or it's not all just some other vegan option, ouch. But you have different options because people have different appetites. And so essentially what we're saying is, hey, we're a new item on the menu. It's healthy, good for you, delicious and nutritious. Try it out.
Right. I couldn't put it better myself, Beck. I like to think of it like, like it's almost like a diamond in a rough. People need a chance to see kind of what it's like to have that, opportunity to, okay, I'm interested in this, but I'm scared, or I don't have the resources to be able to get to a certain point. That's what we're here for. We like, hey, you know what? We can give you that. We can get you that training. We can put you on the right path here. And you never know. It happens just like that. You'll find your next greatest pen tester or whatever have you, and it wouldn't have been possible if we didn't provide that that forum, that place for them to come and feel comfortable. And that's very important, to feel comfortable, because I've been to many conferences. I remember I went to one conference and I walked into a CTF and was like, oh my gosh, what this is beyond me. I was like nervous. I'm scared. I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know. See, with us, we're like, hey, you know what? We're all learning. We're all gonna go do this. Come sit down, because we're gonna do this together. We're gonna hold your hand. We're gonna do this. And I think that's very important, because I know how I felt. So yeah, that's what we're about.
Yeah, and all parts of that spectrum too. Just because I think sometimes people conflate incapable with unfamiliar, and some people just haven't had the exposure. And so to be able to be in the room where they can still associate with people who are a little bit further in their career, they've had more experience, and they can glean information from them. And then it's also beneficial to the people who've been there for a while, because now they have fresh eyes. They have a new way to experience things. So we benefit from each other. You don't want to, and not pointing fingers or anything. It's just sometimes people get into an echo chamber and they're like, I'm an expert. I only want to be around experts.
Right.
Okay, fine. I think you limit yourself when you do that. There are some times where you benefit from, you know, passing the ball around with people who are on the same level. But more often than not, when you have not just when we mention diversity, yes, diversity in background, diversity in all of these different areas, because there's so many different things that people can bring to the table. And so we also shouldn't get so high and mighty for the people who have been there for a while, who's a little bit more veteran in the industry, and say, oh, I'm helping you, young plebe, come along. It also benefits them to have that experience. So it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
It does. It definitely sounds like SquadCon is also you're creating an environment where people can probably reduce imposter syndrome when attending these type of conferences, because they see people and they're like, oh, I fit here, but also it's like, you know, no matter what your level is, you're going to feel welcome and appreciated. And I think sometimes people, when they go to DEF CON, it's so overwhelming. And like you're saying, like you feel kind of deflated, like you just don't know where you are on skill level, but everyone seems like they know what they're doing, but they probably don't know what they're doing. But
Right. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. Like last year, I got so many people that walked up to me and was like, you know, your village. That's when we're at DEF CON. Your village was so inviting. I felt like at home. I didn't feel like out of place, and I was able to enjoy it. So you guys keep up what you're doing. So, you know, it just goes to what you're saying, Chloe.
Yeah,
Even with the imposter syndrome, I was just going to say, even if it doesn't remove it, like I'm not questioning myself because I see where I belong. It also, in its existence, to know that other people who I look up to also feel the same makes it feel less of a detrimental issue with me. Like that's part of the thing. Like if I got hungry and I never knew that anyone else was hungry, I would think there's something wrong with my hunger. But there's nothing wrong with that. It means I need to feed myself. It's my body letting me know that there is a need that has to be met. And sometimes I think imposter syndrome can be leveraged. I know when I first started out, it's because I had the chip on my shoulders, because I was trying to prove myself. Excuse me, get choked up. Because I was trying to prove myself, I worked harder and I did more to not only prove myself to others, but to prove myself to myself. So sometimes knowing that other people who, you know, you look up to, you esteem, are feeling the same things, it helps you then take that thing that was originally negative and leverage it for good.
Yeah, I was going to jump on this because sometimes you overcompensate too when you feel that imposter syndrome and you're in the middle of so many people that look, like Chloe said, they all look amazing, like they all look the part, they all know what they're talking about, but do they? I mean, sometimes they may overcompensate. It's like, you know, beware of people that come to you and say, you know, I'm not a pessimistic person. I usually think they are going to be very pessimistic just because they're putting their hands on. So it's very psychological here. And then you bring the menu and the food, you know, metaphor. So I'm going to go with that. So I'd like to know from you guys what's on the menu at at SquadCon, what people can expect. I know they're going to be talk, what capture the flag. What else? It's going to
So our menu options cater to everyone's dietary restrictions. So we're going to have a little bit of everything. We will have talks. We're going to have workshops. There's going to be workshops on the main stage that'll be visible to those who join virtually as well. And then we'll have challenges that are available for people to do who are virtual, and they can do through our I know this is about to go live, our CTF thing that one of our volunteers is working on. And then we'll have keynotes presented on day one will be Camille Stewart-Gloucester, who works with the White House for the National Cyber Director. There's so many words in there. She's super impressive, by the way. And then day two will be keynoted by Director Jen Easterly. Director of CISA or CISA, tomato, however you choose to pronounce it. And then day 3 will be keynoted by Marcus J. Carey. I know he's authored Tribe of Hackers, and we'll have people talking about ransomware. A very talented and fantastic individual, I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, Chloé, will also be excuse me, presenting. So it's a little bit of everything. And the other thing that we recently gave the option for is that we have a couple slots that if anyone was still interested in presenting that missed the deadline for call for proposals, they can do a recorded talk, and we can make that available online for our virtual participants as well.
Right.
All right, Chloe, I know you have to
run.
You're in a hat, so last few words, and then you'll come back again. We're going to talk more about this.
Right. I'm just ecstatic for SquadCon. I've been looking so forward to it. I remember when Tanisha was talking about it with me, and I was like, yes, this is happening. I'm so excited. And yeah, if there's anything that anyone in the community can do or anything that like we can do, like let us know, because we have to be your hype too. Okay, Rebecca? Okay, you can't do that job on your own. All right?
Yeah. I'm learning. Thank you.
All right, Chloe, we're gonna let you go, and we're gonna keep going with the conversation for another 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Bye, Chloe. Thank you.
See you at SquadCon.
See you there.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so here we are back on track after saying goodbye. So let's keep going with that, because part of when we do coverage at ITSP Magazine, either they're big or small, the point is always the same. We want to get people excited about it. We want people to show up. And I have to say, I love the fact that a lot of events, and you mentioned that, are still available virtually, because I think that's part of inclusion as well. Right. I was very afraid that the big conferences will go back to not have that. Some actually ended up not having that. I was in Europe not too long ago. I'm not gonna, go too deep into that. But I was disappointed that was not like showing to everyone. Not everybody can afford a few days in Vegas. It's damn expensive. I mean, I'm in LA. I can drive, but if you also have to fly, it's pretty bad. So let's keep talking about this. Like even the vision for the future. This is the first step of something that I hope it's going to become an institution of summer camp. So, what's the vision?
Definitely, this is the first step of something bigger, and we like to keep the ball moving on this, basically, because we see the need, and we want to be able to be that resource, as I was saying before, for those that may not otherwise have the opportunity to participate in something like this and see what's available that may have piqued their interest, but they hadn't had a chance to, or the opportunity to dive into it, to see if this is really for them, and that's the most important thing. I mean, I'm involved in a lot of conversations with people that are trying to break into cybersecurity, and first thing I tell them is you have to figure out because cybersecurity is like the big umbrella, as you know. So you don't want to go down the rabbit hole and find yourself just spinned around and not knowing top from bottom or whatever have you. You want to be able to get some type of focus, and that I think is like the best advice that I can give. You want to be able to focus it down and into what's available and what piques your interest, and that's what we try to provide. At the lowest cost possible, if not free, because like you said, not everybody can afford to go to conferences or take this training or that training. That's what we look to do. It's a lot of gatekeeping in certain aspects, and that's one of my things that I hate to see, because it's like you don't know who you're turning away. You don't know by doing it like this and putting a price point so high that they can't take advantage of it. So like I said, this is only the beginning, and we're going to get better and better, and because I
Yep.
believe in what we're doing. So
It's like the you ain't seen nothing yet. We one, I'm proud that even with this being our first standalone event, it's not going to look that way. In the level of excellence that the planning committee and team have put forth in making sure that we provide a A-list executive experience to everyone, it won't look like it's a first-time event. And from here, we're just going to learn more, grow more, but we don't want to do that in a way that then betrays what we started off to do. We want to grow and enhance, mindful of our initial mission and the people that we intend to serve, so that we don't want to then become what we're seeking to avoid and leave people behind. So, as we grow and as we improve, it's going to be with our tenants in mind. Like our Black Girl Tag tenants are to empower, educate, and prepare. And that is at the substratum of everything that we do. We want to make sure that we remove as many barriers that people have to entry and to community, and to provide support. So, yeah, like Al said, this is just the beginning, and it's only up from here.
As we talk about the future and we talk about what's about to happen very soon, maybe we'll help to give a very quick background on Black Girls Hack, which is a nonprofit, and that I know has been growing pretty fast and pretty quick. So you guys are definitely doing something very important. And maybe as well as you say that, tell us a little bit of the story, how people can get involved in making it happen even faster, but still retaining that mission and vision that you don't want to dilute and water down as you go.
So Black Girls Hack is as you mentioned, nonprofit organization that is focused on increasing diversity in cybersecurity. It got started a few years ago, and literally a few years ago, about 3, where our founder, Tanisha Martin, was seeking to transition into the cyber industry, and noticed that while there's a lot of information out there still was it was struggling to find resources and guidance to help follow a path to follow, more or less. And she identified that if she was experiencing that, others probably were as well. And she just got on social media and started sharing her process, and the community kind of grew organically. And then so from there, she went ahead and started the nonprofit. And that's how I found it. I was, as well, I was a working help desk, and I wanted to transition into cybersecurity. And I was like, hey, if I want to do this, I shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel. Let me see who else is doing this work that I can either mirror or work with or what have you. And I saw Tanisha on Twitter, join the community, and that's kind of what it's been. It's been an organic growth of like-minded people who are experiencing similar things, working together to support each other to then grow. We've done, and I'm happy and proud to say, so many things as far as different study groups for Security Plus, the Certified in Cybersecurity. We've done cohorts for CEH, where it was completely sponsored, in that our members or whoever joined that cohort was able to receive their books, instructor-led training, and then a voucher to take the exam, all covered at no cost to them. And so those are the type of things that we seek to do to support people who are just now getting started, so that they have the resources that they need to be skilled, so that when the positions that everyone speaks about, we have so many openings or what have you. So we're preparing them to be skilled to fill those positions. And then there are those who are already in the careers and they just need support, because oftentimes some people get in the position and they're the only one. And that can lead to burnout, frustration, or what have you. And so having a support system of people who you can ask, hey, I've seen this, anyone else, whatever, and that can be professionally or personally. But just knowing that you have that support. So that's good there as well. And then also, Chloe kind of mentioned, imposter syndrome earlier. It's also good to, the empower part of our tenet is to reaffirm to people, hey, you're qualified, you're capable, you have this. And sometimes people don't get those reassurances. They're so, head down working and trying to get things done that they're not getting that other places. So we're providing that support here as well. So Black Girls Hack, educate, empower, prepare. At the core of everything we do, it circles around that. That's what we're trying to do. Make sure that people are skilled, and so that and then connect them with employers that are looking for work so that they can hire and then retain that talent. Because I think that's the other part of it. There are some people who are focused on the hire, but not on the retention. So we want to make sure that that people are not just getting these roles, but they're successful in them. So that's for Black Girls Hack. What was the other part of what you asked?
So you want to how can people get involved with our
Yes.
organization?
Okay, so immediately I'm gonna mention SquadCon because that's what we have coming up right now. It's still available for people to register if they're gonna be on site already. You can go to our website at squadcon.me, and tickets are available for registration. So if you're going to be in Vegas, or you have the flexibility to decide right now that you're going to be in Vegas, then by all means, we welcome you. Welcome to SquadCon. Go ahead and register there. There are, as we mentioned, virtual options as well, and you can register there. If you are an organization and you are on board with the idea of what it is that we're trying to do, you can sponsor. I know our deadline has, kind of, I don't want to say lapsed, but it's getting closer. And so, and a lot of time with organizations, they have to have lead time and what have you. As we said, this is not, this might be our first rodeo, but it won't be our last. So we definitely can commit to sponsoring for next year. So that's for SquadCon specifically. But as an organization, Black Girls Hack has rolling sponsorship opportunities, so you can get in where you fit in at any time. And that's to either partner with us for supporting our operating budget, because all of us are volunteers. We all have full-time jobs, and we do this in addition because it's something that we care about. So to help support that mission, that's definitely welcomed and appreciated. And then we also have specific programs that are available to sponsor as well. So like we have a dedicated red team training program that gets the person from zero to hero, starting with absolutely no experience. And by the end of the program, they'll have the opportunity to sit for their OSCP. We also have a blue team training program, similar of just now getting started. And at the completion of it, there's about 9 certifications that we guide through and help prepare for. And at the end of that, they'll have their BTL 3. Blue team training. So yeah, get in where you fit in. We also, if you're an instructor, and if you're like, hey, I'm not a big organization, I've just done this job for some time, feel free to, do a lunch and learn. We appreciate that. If you're a recruiter and you can loan your services for resume review or what have you, any skill that you have that you do well and it can be leveraged to help our members, we're definitely appreciative and accepting of that. So blackgirlshack.org is our website. There's opportunities for you to connect with us there. Official at blackgirlshack.org. You can also email us. Yeah.
So a couple things for me on even how I became involved with Black Girls Hack. It was initially I was searching out a program for my daughter. I thought she was going to go into the cybersecurity field, or I should say I was trying to lead her into that, but she ended up taking a turn to content creation and things like that. But I saw kind of what was going on, and I saw the mission, and I was like, I'm behind this, and I was like, I have to be a part of this. So that's why I stayed on. One thing I just want to stress in regards to getting involved with Black Girls Hack is that we are inclusive. Although it says Black Girls Hack, we are inclusive of all. Like we don't. It's not just for Black women or things like that. It's for all. So I just want to make sure that whoever's watching this, they understand that it's not just for Black women. So there we go.
Well, I think you guys made this very clear, and I know we even in the past even with Chloé, and we had conversation about what really inclusion means. Chloé is really passionate about it, and how there is a paradox when you literally say we're going to be all inclusive, but we don't like you, or we don't want this person. So in a way, the paradox is that at that point you're not inclusive anymore, and this approach. It's beautiful. I think it's needed, and I think we all need to be a little bit more humble. And let's face it, like you said, Rebecca and Alishlan, we're all mentors, and we're also mentee. Every time that we mentor, we need to stay humble. We need to stay open, because there's always something to learn. Every time I do a podcast, it's like reading a book. Actually, it's better because I get to interact with people like you that actually make things happen, and I'm super excited for this event. I want to close here with, of course, remembering everybody that there'll be links to all the website you mentioned, all the links to get involved. It will be in the notes of the podcast. We're actually putting up a page just for the event, so that if we have more conversation moving forward during the event, after the event, we will put it there, and we want people to get involved. So, as they say, a new event starts the moment that you finish the first one. I know I get an email usually the day after a conference end to register for the next year. I'm like, whoa. Give me a break. But
Cool, you jet.
I understand. Okay. But I know there's a lot of work involved. That's what I wanted to say. So I hope people can find the way to help you out. And I have no doubts that the community is going to answer to the call in a very, very efficient and excited way. So again, thank you so much. I don't know if you want to add something just to finish it. You got a minute?
I was going to say thank you for your time and for the partnership. I never want to be to the point to where I feel entitled to support. While I think it's a valuable mission, I still appreciate everyone that links arms. So thank you, and thank you to everyone else who is seeing the value in what it is that we're offering and has decided to lend their help and support. It's an ongoing thing. It's not a panacea. We have all the answers and we're going to fix everything. But and in an ongoing mission, the more people that you have that link arms and work with you, the further along we can get. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity and the time, and thank you to everyone who will listen to this and take action.
Yes, I couldn't have said it better myself, Beck. Thank you, Marco, for your time, and hopefully we see you all in Vegas.
Better.
You better. All right. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned and check out everything that is going to happen at this SquadCon event. It's going to be not the first. It's going to be not well. It's going to be the first, sort of, but it's not going to be the last. So there you go. All right. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned. See you in Vegas.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of our on-location conversation. If you learned something new and this podcast made you think, then share itsbmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.